Hello everybody and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to it. If you don't know who I am or what I do, my name is Gabriella. I'm a freelance photographer in the Metro Detroit and Los Angeles area. Today what I'm going to be talking about is how I gained 25,000 followers on TikTok in 2 weeks. I would like to preface this video with, I don't know all the answers to the TikTok algorithm. I don't necessarily know what I did right and what I did wrong, but based on my analytics and my insights, here are the things that I think you can do to help build your following really fast. Before I jump into some of the tips that can help you grow your TikTok account, I just want to show some of my analytics to show you that this is actually real and what I did actually worked. So the first thing I want to show you is my last week of TikTok follower count. As you can see on this graph, I've gained 7.5 thousand followers in the last week, and in the last month, I gained 21.5 thousand followers. So that's something that you can look at and just reference as a real analytic. I didn't buy any of my followers. The first thing you need to do, and honestly, I know that this is going to be something that you've heard a million times, and if you don't want to do this, then don't be surprised if your TikTok account doesn't necessarily blow up. But you need to find a sort of niche or market that you can feed regularly. If you look down into my earlier TikTok videos when I was just starting, kind of like everyone else, it is all over the place. I have a cooking video, I have a crafting video, I have photography. It's all over the place. People are not going to want to follow an account where they can't rely on the type of content they're going to get. So as you scroll up and as you move up to something a little bit more recent, and what I've been doing for the last couple of weeks, people come to my page and they know what to expect. They're going to get photography tips, photography behind the scenes, composite videos, Photoshop tips, etc. So finding a broad niche that you can make a bunch of little bubbles out from. I'm gonna have to put up a graph, like a little spider graph. Like my niche here is photography, and then I have Photoshop, Lightroom, composites, behind the scenes. I have all of these branches off of that, but you want to have some sort of general niche so that way people know what to expect from your content. Just realized I haven't looked at any of my TikTok analytics beforehand, so I'm gonna do that. If you're following my YouTube channel or my Instagram, you probably already know this, but obviously my TikTok account was going to be geared toward photography and Photoshop tips. So I was constantly trying to stay on top of TikTok trends. I was making my own sort of behind the scenes videos for my photo shoots and all of that, and those things weren't necessarily hitting as well as I would like them to. Obviously, with anybody or any person on a social media, their main goal is to grow themselves or grow their brand in any way possible. So what I started thinking about doing, since I do have such an extensive background in Photoshop, I've been studying it now for about 12 to 13 years, and I now have a very in-depth comprehension of lighting for photography. I wanted to try to Photoshop myself into photos with famous celebrities. That is something that has really worked on my channel. As you can see, the Selena Gomez edit I did has almost 1 million views on TikTok. The next highest trending one has about 750,000, and they all go down, but none of them have less than 100,000 views. So those are the type of videos that have really been working on my page, but what I've been doing is making sure that I'm posting in between each of those posts of things that I actually want to share, the things that I want to make. Not necessarily that I don't want to be making these composites, because they are super fun and I'm learning a lot about Photoshop and my photography skills, but at the end of the day, the main goal is for me to get brand deals, reach out to new clients, and to have new clients reach out to me. Step 2 is finding something in your niche that can appeal to everyone. This to me is the most important part about growing your TikTok account. No matter what kind of account you are, no matter what you're trying to do with your account, if you're just trying to have a big following because you want to be cool, or if you want to grow your business, the most important thing is finding a way to make videos within your niche that can appeal to any person. So I'm just going to take a second and watch my Selena Gomez edit video, because that is my highest viewed video that I have yet. After watching that, I'm going to assume that every person watching this video is not into photography or Photoshop, but you can watch that video and appreciate the fact that something happened that looks cool. Even if you don't think it looks that cool, that's fine, but the premise is any person can look at that and not necessarily care about photography or not necessarily care about Photoshop and still enjoy that content. That to me is what was like the click in my brain when I started making those videos, was that, oh, this is how I grow my following. I cannot just appeal to an audience of photographers. Photographers are mean and they're like jealous all the time. Hi, Zara. I'm on TikTok live while I make this video, so Zara, shout out to you in this YouTube video. You don't want your entire audience just to be the same type of person you are. If you're only making photography content, the only type of people you're going to get in return are photographers who probably aren't going to pay you for your work because you are a photographer. And they already do photography, so why would they pay you? And they can do it themselves most of the time. Secondly, you don't want to build an audience off the type of people that you don't want to reach out to for later. For example, I posted a video on my account that is about the photo book I published in 2019, Dear Billy. And I posted that in between a couple of these composite videos that have been doing really well because they're driving so much traffic to my page. I wanted to make sure that I put that in between some of these bigger videos because it would automatically ensure that people would go back and watch that. And since then, I've had 3 or 4 book sales just from posting it on TikTok alone. That being said, this is a perfect example of building an audience for the type of person you want to brand to or sell to. A hypothetical situation of this is, let's say that you build a TikTok account based on creating digital paintings. You are a portrait digital art painter. You gain 100,000 followers on TikTok because people love to see your digital art painting, or they love to see your Procreate tips or anything like that. And then let's say you try to sell them your music. Well, you have 100,000 people that follow you for Procreate and digital art. Now, maybe 3,000 of those people will also go listen to your music, but that's not what they came to your account for. So you want to keep in mind that you don't want to necessarily just build a following to build it and then try to sell or do whatever you're trying to do. You want to make sure that along the way you're building the following that's going to care about that thing that you're trying to build the following for from the get-go. That would be like me building this photography and Photoshop account to then try to sell homemade bread that I could ship all over the world. People, you know, the 25,000 people that I have following me on TikTok did not follow me because I make homemade bread that I can ship around the world. They followed me because I provide value in Photoshop and photography tips and all of that stuff. So tip number 2, most important, find something that appeals to everyone within your niche and that can move you toward your end goal for why you want to build this audience. Which leads me into tip number 3, understand why you want to build a big audience. Now, obviously we live in a digital age and social media presence is very important. And if you're like 12, you probably don't necessarily have an end goal in mind. However, there's really no point, and not to be mean, there's really no point in some random person who isn't trying to sell something, isn't trying to build an audience to create something for, isn't trying to offer value and educate people. There's really no reason for a person's account to have a large following if they don't have a goal for how to use that large following, if that makes sense. Even influencers. So some people might hear me say that and be like, well, influencers, I want to be an influencer, and that's fine. That's a goal. You want to have a big enough following to get paid for by brands or to get paid by brands in product or money to post about them. And that is a goal within itself. But just have a reason for wanting a big following, because once you get a big following and you have nothing to do with it, it's like, great, I have this reach and I have this access to all these people, but now what? Now they just expect something from me and I get nothing in return. So have a goal in mind when you get started from the jump if you can. Step 4 is going to be a pretty obvious one as well, but you want to make sure that you're interacting and engaging with other people. One of the things that I realized early on when I was still at a lower follower count, like 800 to 1,000, 1,500 people, is that commenting on other people's video brought other people to my page, especially when I had a comment that actually popped off and had a lot of likes. I don't know where it is now, but I did have a comment that had like 25,000 likes on some video, which wasn't even a good comment, but it still brought people to my page. So interacting on these apps, and this is true for Instagram and anything else, they're not going to push out content from a user that's not an active user. So you have to be using the app. I personally was somebody that doesn't like to be on my phone very often, but if I wanted to build this following, I knew, okay, I need to spend more time on the internet, and that's fine. Before we move forward, I do want to just talk about some of the things I have going on, and I just want to say thank you to all 25,000 people that have followed me on TikTok. This is my TikTok account. Here's my @ if you do want to follow me and follow along in what I'm doing. But yeah, I'm hoping to upload more videos, and by hoping, I mean I will once I find the time to edit the videos. More behind the scenes videos of me photoshopping myself into these famous photos with celebrities from my TikTok account. And if anybody's interested, I do have small updates on my second photo book, Dear Half Alive, which is part of my Dear series photo books that I originally published in 2019 and hopefully will continue to publish volume 2 in 2021. given how crazy life has been and how my freelance career has picked up so much, I don't necessarily know exactly when the book is going to come out. Having a live release event is something that I think is really important to me, and I want to make sure that I can do that. And with what's going on in the world and how, you know, I don't know how COVID's really going to affect all of that stuff. I don't know if the book will be released in late summer of 2021. I'm really hoping that it can be, but there's still a ton of work to do on the book itself and finding artists, finding a venue, and all of those things. So I want to make sure that I can make the release event and the book the best it can possibly be. I'm hoping for this one to be like 200 pages at least. We'll see how it goes. That sounds really expensive to me. But worst case scenario, fall 2021, the photo book will be released. Everybody, hopefully by then, will be able to be invited. COVID will have been taken care of, and we can move forward with that. So if you're interested, follow me on TikTok, follow me on Instagram. That's where you're going to get the most updates on the Deer series and my TikTok account. And moving forward, let's keep talking about how you can grow your TikTok account quickly, hopefully. Step 5, try to go live whenever you can. I'm currently live filming this YouTube video just because I can be. Obviously on TikTok, you have to have 1,000 followers to go live. I think this is their way of kind of weeding out which accounts are going to be bot accounts and which ones are going to be spam accounts, which honestly, I was super annoyed until I had 1,000 followers. I was like, actually, like, this is the dumbest thing ever. But I totally understand it, and I actually appreciate the fact that TikTok's doing that, just because Instagram is so flooded with spam accounts. It's insane. So once you hit that 1,000 follower mark, and to be honest with you, if you're posting regularly and you're posting decent content, it's not going to be hard. So once you get that 1,000 followers, go live as much as you can. Even if you're just like, I spend a lot of time live just on my computer editing because I would already be doing that anyway. It doesn't have to just be you sitting in front of the phone and be like, let's talk, ask me questions. TikTok has now introduced live categories, so you can actually say what you're doing. So a lot of times when I'm editing, I will just put myself in the learned category and people can ask me questions about how I edit, about Photoshop, anything like that. So go live after you post a video. If you can, like 10 minutes after posting, try to go live for like an hour. That is something that I noticed with TikTok live, is that the longer you're on the live, the more feeds you pop up on. So staying live as long as you can is going to be the best option for you. There's times that I've gone live for 5 hours. There's times that I've gone live for 2. And every time I come out of that live, I always come out of it with a lot of notifications because they're putting your live feed on new people's feeds. It's not like Instagram Live where only your followers are going to see what you're doing. TikTok is constantly pushing accounts to new eyes whenever they can. Step 6. How much to post. This is probably going to be the one that I have the most discrepancy with because I work as a full-time photographer and I just don't have time to post 2 to 3 times a day. I don't have time to post 2 to 3 TikToks a day, let alone make 2 to 3 TikToks to post every single day. So if you're making content that's a little bit more trend heavy, so like you're just kind of popping on whatever's popping off on TikTok right now. If you're making content that is kind of like POV content, it's just like funny stories that you're coming up with, anything like that, it's going to be a little bit easier for you to create content regularly because you kind of have that content already built in for you. If you're jumping on trends, then you can just continue to jump on the trends of whatever's going on. If you're like me and you're trying to make something that's a little bit more art-based or a little bit more based for your business, it's a lot harder to create 2 to 3 good videos a day, but it is a lot easier to make 1 or 2 really good TikToks to post every single day. My TikToks, I feel like I focus on quality over quantity right now. Obviously, my page is not the biggest page in the world, but since I've only been really focused on it for a couple weeks, which is why I've disappeared from YouTube for a hot minute, you can definitely grow a following very fast on TikTok, and I don't really believe that there's that much more time for doing so. I would say that for the next like 6 to 8 months, anybody will be able to pop off on TikTok before their algorithm really starts taking over. So posting as much as you can is going to be great, but I would say focus on quality over quantity once you hit that 1,000 follower mark because you can use live to your advantage. Step 7, go into TikTok with the understanding that there's going to be random people that are mean to you for no reason. If you want to build a bigger following on TikTok, you are by default going to deal with people that think it's funny to be mean to you or like tell you that you're ugly or tell you that whatever you're doing is really bad or stupid. You have to go into this, and this is true of any social media, but TikTok specifically because it's so like new and it's like a lawless land. people really are going to tell you that you're terrible in any way that they can. And I've realized that I think it's more so because they want people to like their comment and go to their page more than anything else. As somebody that has a couple videos that have done a good number of views and have, you know, hundreds of comments on them, I've also realized that sometimes these people that are being mean simply don't think that you're going to see it, and they really don't think you're going to respond. If I can find an example of it, I'll pop it up here, but a lot of times once I respond to somebody, their tune changes really fast. So step number 7, and I think this should be step 0.5 just to get it in your brain early, is to not let haters get the best of you. They're gonna exist everywhere. Just move on from them. Honestly, most of the time I just like hit them with a little bit of kindness and then they go away. So that's tip number 7. This is going to be tip number 8, but from here on out, I don't think I'm going to keep numbering that. I'm just going to kind of ramble about the things that I think are important in order to build your TikTok following. But one of the things you want to make sure that you're doing all the time is that you want to make sure that you're responding to all your comments. People are taking the time to say something, whether it's nice or mean, about your work, and I think it's important to even, you know, just hit them with a thank you or thanks for noticing. One thing that I like to do, there's actually a couple, but one thing I really like to do is try to start a conversation with somebody in the comments if I don't feel like my video is getting as big of views or as many views as I want it to. You can see that in my Rihanna video, and anybody who's watching this video who comments on my TikTok video about Rihanna, I did not play you for a fool. I really did want to compile a list of people and celebrities to potentially Photoshop myself with. But anyway, what I did when I first saw that that video was doing really well, that was the first video I ever had that went viral. So what I was doing was I was asking people in return, great, who would you like to see me Photoshop myself with next? And that by default created a conversation with so many of those commenters that it just built up that interaction, and thus TikTok kept pushing it out to more and more people. So always try to interact with people when you can. If you've been on my TikTok or if you are coming from my TikTok on this, thank you for commenting. I appreciate you. I hope that you feel that I have not neglected you, because I do try to respond to every single comment. Another thing that you can do in order to save yourself the trouble of creating new content all the time is duetting other people's videos and stitching other people's videos. Stitching is a great new way on TikTok to draw more people to your page, because they can see that original video and then see what people have stitched with it. Utilizing these tools is another thing that TikTok is going to notice and will push your content out to more viewers. Try to use filters if you can. Try to use some of the effects on TikTok that you can. Anything that you can use that's built into TikTok is going to be super helpful. That being said, if you're like me and you make tutorial style content sometimes, it's important to add captions to your videos. I know it's annoying, I know it's gonna take a long time, and at first I was like, this is stupid, nobody needs them, and then I realized I spend so much time on TikTok not listening to the sound because I'm in public or I'm doing something else, that if a video is clearly just somebody talking at me and it does not have captions, I'm not going to watch it. So you can make them super small in the corner, you can do whatever. Make sure you're adding captions to your videos when you are uploading them, if it's going to be mostly you speaking. I almost left this part out. One of the most important things that you need to understand and learn how to utilize is hashtags on TikTok. Hashtags on Instagram now are so oversaturated that they're so hard to understand how they work and which ones are going to be good and which ones are not going to do anything for you, which honestly at this point I should probably make an Instagram algorithm video or something, which I might make later. If you want one, comment it below or something. But anyway, hashtags on TikTok are going to be the very best thing that you can do. One of the biggest mistakes I see newer creators making when they're trying to grow their TikTok account is using hashtags like For You page or FYP, anything that, or Explore, anything that has billions and billions of views. Here's the reason why that doesn't work. If you think about how many people are using those hashtags per minute, think about those, every video that somebody hashtags FYP coming up on like a feed. And that feed is refreshing every time somebody uses that hashtag. So when you go to the For You page hashtag, even though every single person's For You page is different, so I don't really know if that even helps you, really. When you go to that hashtag, you're going to be able to scroll forever through videos that people have hashtagged FYP. The problem is that since so many people are using that hashtag so often, it's going to regenerate those videos that come up at the top so fast that you're not going to be able to catch that traffic as quickly or as much as you want. To me, the perfect combination of hashtag usage is using one hashtag that has over 1 million to 5 million views. You don't want to use a bunch of hashtags at the beginning that have a ton of views because your account has no credibility yet, so TikTok's not going to really push your content out until you get a little bit higher follower count and they see that you're an active user on the app. So you only want to use like 1, maybe 2 hashtags that have over 5 million views. And even so, don't use For You page. I'm just saying it now. Don't use it if you're just starting out. The second, 2 to 3 hashtags that have between like 200,000 and 900,000 views is going to be your sweet spot. The reason being is that these hashtags are used often enough, but not too often. So you can actually land on these pages for these hashtags, and you can actually, I guess, rank in those hashtags a lot easier than you can for the ones that already have millions or even billions of views. Lastly, if you're like me, sometimes I want to use one that's a little bit smaller. This one might be like 200,000 views, 100,000 views. Actually, one of the hashtags that I used when I started doing my composite videos was hashtag Photoshop Hustler. When I started using it, it had about 600,000 views, and because of my videos and probably others, since other people probably started using it, it has almost 5 million views now. So you just want to find hashtags that are within your niche that can also be used to your advantage, because now when I look up that Photoshop Hustler hashtag, my videos still come up on it because they're some of the top viewed videos in that hashtag. Really quickly, I just want to pull up the analytics for my Selena Gomez video. I'm using this one as an example because this is my best performing video. If you look over here, 98% of the traffic that I've gotten from this video is from the For You page. It's not from my followers. That is something that's a little bit of a discrepancy, I feel like, on TikTok, and I hope that that's something they kind of work out a little bit more, is integrating who you're following into your For You page, even though I kind of feel like they do, but who knows. Your main goal is to get on as many people's For You page as possible, not necessarily getting as many followers as possible. Obviously, the follower count is a good analytic to show people and to show businesses or whatever. You want to make sure that when you're making videos and when you're making videos that you hope go viral, they can appeal to as many people as possible, because that's how they're going to end up on as many For You pages as possible. Like I said, clearly I'm not the biggest TikToker in the world, and I am not somebody that swears that I understand the algorithm or anything like that. I'm just somebody that built my TikTok following to 25,000 followers within like 2.5 weeks, and so I just want to share some of the things that really worked for me, and I hope that can work for you. If you like this video and if you like my channel, please go ahead and like and subscribe. If you want to hit that notification bell, that'd be cool too, but low-key I don't be doing it for anybody else, so I understand if you don't want to.